After the Iowa votes are counted tonight, the focus turns squarely onto New Hampshire. That is where the nation's first primary takes place next Tuesday. Al Jazeera's Lisa Stark is live for us in Manchester. Hey, Lisa, some of the candidates are already there. I can see behind you. Why skip Iowa's big night?
Well, they are indeed, Tony. You know, it's all about where candidates feel they have a better shot. We are at this Jeb Bush town hall. Now, in Iowa, he's polling only at about 4%. Here in New Hampshire, his poll numbers are more than twice as strong. So obviously, it makes sense for him to concentrate here. And there are a number of Republican candidates who are gambling on the granite state. Ohio Governor John Kasich is the one candidate who opted out of Iowa on caucus day.
This is where I put my chips down here in New Hampshire, and we're
hoping to solidify his political future by winning over voters here. How important is this state to your candidacy?
Real important. Very, very important. If I don't do well, I'll cry, but I'll get over it.
On a more serious note, Kasich told a packed house that he has a positive vision for America and urged his fellow candidates to stop the negative ads.
Take it off the air, folks. Put what you're for on the air so they can make a good judgment in the last week of this campaign. That's what I think we ought to do. So,
two of his Republican opponents, Chris Christie and Jeb Bush, began their day in Iowa, but then headed straight to New Hampshire. All three, as well as Senator Marco Rubio, are trying to beat expectations to propel them onward. The four are locked in a race to become the top choice of the GOP establishment, someone to counter conservative Ted Cruz and frontrunner Donald Trump.
I mean, for John Kasich, for Chris Christie, for Jeb Bush, second place is very important here in New Hampshire. For any of them to spend all that time here and not get at least a second place would be devastating for their campaigns.
This time around, Kasich and Christie have logged more miles here than any of the other candidates, each glad-handing at more than 150 stops, well surpassing the roughly 35 treks Trump has made to woo voters.
Let's make America great again.
The New York billionaire has done so with super-sized rallies, upending the traditional New Hampshire style of small gatherings. Trump has even, except for one time, skipped the usual diner circuit. At the Puritan Backroom Diner, which has hosted many a candidate, these feisty five had Trump on the mind.
I think we need somebody who can change things and fix things. And I, honest to God, I really believe that Trump
of the United States to say something like, bomb the hell out of him.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Or
he'll pick up his marbles and go home.
That's right. That's right. It's my ball. I'm going home.
I think he's probably has what it takes to change things.
On the Democratic side, Senator Bernie Sanders from neighboring Vermont is expected to take the state that Hillary Clinton captured 8 years ago during her first presidential bid. This is a state with more undeclared voters than even registered Republicans and Democrats. About 44% of the electorate, some 380,000 voters, consider themselves independents. And in this open primary, they are allowed to vote for any candidate in any party. Are the undeclared voters a wild card or not?
They're a wild card, but they're not an ace. You know, a lot of times you read that, well, this candidate is going to ride undeclared voters to victory. It's in practice, it's tough to do that because there aren't that many who are these crossover voters that everyone thinks they are.
Many independents, including most of these women, are still perusing the political menu.
I kind of wait almost till the day of the primary, as do most people I know in this state. They wait and do it at the last minute.
Because the cost of approval now has gone.
Now, voters in this state take their responsibility very, very seriously. As Jeb Bush told the crowd, you make us walk on hot coals. This state has a way, Tony, of winnowing out the candidates, but also propelling others onto the nomination. That's, of course, what Jeb Bush and the other second-tier candidates are hoping this state will do for them. Back to you.
Well handled, Lisa Stark, like the seasoned pro you are. We have continuing coverage of the Iowa caucuses throughout the evening. We will bring you the results as they happen, starting